So you guys, it was my last appointment, and I know y'all like, damn, she hot right into it. Yes, let's hop into this. So it was like my last appointment. I had all my OB appointments on Wednesdays. So it was like February 6th. I'm just double checking to make sure. I think it is though. Yeah, it was February 6th. I had my last OB appointment. She was pretty much like, okay, listen, like we're at the end of this, we might as well go ahead on and get ready to deliver this baby. I had a lot of complications throughout my pregnancy, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that in my story time when I get ready to tell you guys about how I dealt with and having to go through my pregnancy alone. But she was pretty much like, okay, let's just get this on the ball. I was already just like having contractions, back and forth to the hospital for different things. And so I was like, okay, let's do this. My original due date was not until the 16th. My birthday is July 16th. My daughter's birthday is March 16th. So I was very, very, very hopeful that he was going to come on the 16th of February. But it doesn't happen like that all the time. So she scheduled me for a C-section. She's like, okay, can you come that Monday? And I'm like, yeah, let's do that Monday. And so I called my mom. She's like, well, I got something going on that Monday. I'm just like, Mom, we're talking about me right now going on having this baby. Because at this point, I was extremely tired of being pregnant. And I think I was mostly a little just scared for the process. But I was ready for it to be over with. But I ended up calling the doctor's office back or whoever I talked to. And I'm just like, hey, can we schedule the birthing for Tuesday? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. So Tuesday morning come, and I think it's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think I had to be there either 5 or 6. But we were up early, and I'm headed on to the hospital. It's me and my mom and my aunt. And we drove to the hospital. And we were just there for a while. No, before we even got there. The whole drive to the hospital, y'all, I was contracting. I had been contracting the night before. I felt it, and I didn't know if it was because I was scared or because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I had been contracting all that night before. So the whole ride to the hospital, I'm like, oh my God, these contractions are just like coming. But I'm just thinking they probably Braxton Hicks. Nothing too serious, nothing to worry about, nothing to think about. So we get on to the hospital, and I check in, they get me in my room and everything. And so the nurse comes in, she's like, okay, here's your gown and everything. So, we're going to start you on Pitocin. If a lot of you don't know, Pitocin is a medicine that they give you through an IV to kind of like start you contracting or progress your contractions. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go in the bathroom, and I'm just in there. I'm fully clothed, and I'm just taking pictures because I want to embrace this moment because it had been like an extremely hard pregnancy. And I'm just like, let me just embrace this moment because this is going to be the last time I have this baby in my belly. And so I'm just in there taking pictures. And I'm going to include some pictures like right here. But I'm just in there snapping it up, taking pictures, embracing the moment. So after I took pictures and, just got my head together, I came back out and I had on my gown. Of course, I got in my bed, and the nurses came in and they hooked up the monitors and got everything situated, of course, to get ready to start this birthing process. So maybe 2 or 3 hours passed, and I'm just like, dang, like they haven't given me the Pitocin yet. I'm just like, wonder what the hold up on that. So nurse ended up coming in the room. I'm like, hey, where's the Pitocin? And she was like, we didn't give you the Pitocin because you're already contracting, like you're contracting regularly on your own. And so I was like, oh, that's awesome. And so they checked me, and I think I maybe was still at like 1 or 2 centimeters. I wasn't that far dilated. So, and dilated means the opening where the baby comes down, and I wasn't no more than like 1 or 2. So they did all of that, checked me and everything. And so hours continue going by, and it's just like, they kept checking like, okay, well, you're not dilating anymore. So my doctor came in, she was like, okay, well, you're not dilating anymore, but I want to go ahead on and break your water. I'm like, break my water? I'm like, okay, cool. And so she was like, I'm warning you, before I break your water. She was like, it's going to make your contractions come even harder. And I'm just like, psh, honey, I've been handling these contractions that I've been having all morning. I'm not worried about that. So she comes in, she breaks the water, and I feel it, and it's just like this big gush, and I'm like, whoo. I don't think I remember getting my water broke when I was pregnant with my daughter, when I got ready to go into labor with her, or when I was in labor with her. I don't think I remember it. So this time it's just like, I understand when people be talking about it, like it's just this big gush of water, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I felt it. And so they was like, it wasn't coming out at first. I'm just like, yeah, like I feel it. So I'm sitting in the bed, and of course they got me on like these little pads. I'm sitting on these pads, and so I'm calling the nurse. I'm like, listen, like, y'all need to come change this pad. Like, I feel stuff coming out everywhere. And so they came in and was like, nah, your pad is absolutely dry. Y'all, I must have like leaned up or stayed up or something, and it all just came whooshing out. And I'm just like, ugh. It was, of course, it's a part of, you know, the birthing process and everything, but I didn't remember it from being pregnant with my daughter, so this time it was just a little different. So, break the water. Guys, I kid you not. Those contractions got so hard. Like, so hard. And I'm just like, there's no way my contractions has gotten this worse just by her breaking my water. So, a little while goes on and I'm just like contracting so bad. Prior to me going into labor, the whole time I was pregnant, I told my mom and my son's father, I'm like, listen, I don't care what I say. I don't care what's going on. I don't want an epidural. I don't want that. I don't want to need it in my back. I didn't have an epidural with my little girl, so I definitely didn't want to have one with this one. And I'm just like, no. I said, I don't care how bad of a pain I say I'm in. Don't let me get an epidural. Like, I don't want that, because a lot of people say down the road that there's a lot of back pain that comes with epidurals and stuff. So I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Y'all, those contractions got so freaking bad. And let me remind you, like, my mom was there for me throughout my pregnancy. My mom was. And her and my aunt would just come over there just like rubbing me like, okay, breathe. And my mom would come over there and like, my mom was there the most out of everybody. You know, my mom was there the most throughout my pregnancy. And she would come over and be like, don't touch me. You know, I'm just like, no. Like, I just couldn't stand to be touched. And then my son, dad, was kind of like, it's okay, you know. And I'm just like, okay, let me breathe through this. Y'all, I kid y'all not, I could not hold out from trying to get an epidural. So I told him, like, y'all, call somebody for me an epidural. My son, dad was like, are you sure? I'm like, listen, I need the epidural. Like, don't ask me, am I sure, when I just said that I was sure to get me the epidural. And so he was like, okay. And I think he kind of gave in like so easy. I wasn't expecting him to give in easy because I had been so adamant about I did not want an epidural. But I guess he understood, and he was just like, okay, let me just let her have her way, because she's like in it right now, in the motion. And so they came in, and of course when they the nurses came in, and the I forgot the guy's name. He told me his name, and it was something special about his name, but I can't remember right now, so it wasn't that special. But anyways, he came in to get ready to get my epidural, and of course everybody had to leave out. So it was only me, the nurse, and the guy that was doing my epidural. So she was like, you know, you gotta lean over, you gotta like hunch your back up like this. And I'm like, okay. And so I was expecting to feel a lot of pain when I got my epidural, but I didn't feel a thing. And maybe it was because the contractions were coming so bad and so hard and so fast that I didn't feel that little bitty pain. So I got the epidural, and probably like a good 5 to 10 minutes later, that's when I could start noticing like the contractions weren't as bad. Like they had really, I went from a 10 down to like a 1.5. So I was so excited about them. I'm like, yes, finally. So, and guys, I remember a lot, and there's a lot I don't remember throughout this birthing process, and I think it's because I was just in so much pain. But anyways, I remember getting the epidural and just like being relaxed and calm, because the contractions weren't as bad. I still could feel the contractions. I still could feel them, but they were not as bad as they had been. So I remember my doctor coming in, or either one of the nurses, they checked me and it was like, okay, she's fully dilated. It's time to start pushing. And I'm just like, okay. So my doctor come in, we're about to start pushing. Everything is just going. Everything is just rolling. And so, wait, let's go back a little. Before the epidural, was it before the epidural or after the epidural? It had to be before the epidural. Before the epidural, I remember seeing on YouTube and on other different people's platforms and stuff, they talked about like this little peanut, this little ball that they could bounce on while they're pregnant. I mean, while they're in labor, to kind of like help with the contractions. So I'm asking them like, hey, y'all got the little ball thing, you know, I can bounce on to kind of help with it. Y'all, they brought me out a ball, and it looked like a peanut. Like the peanuts you have to crack open, like it looked like a peanut. And they was like, oh yeah, you just put it between your legs. I'm like, I can't bounce on this. They said, oh no, we can't let you out the bed. And I'm just like, ill for me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So after I got the epidural, I remember them putting the little peanut back between my legs, and I think they said that would help with like dilating and everything. So I put the little peanut back between my leg, and then I think, of course, like I said, the doctor or the nurse came in and they ended up checking me and said, okay, she's dilated, she's ready to push. So I get in the pushing position, even though I have an epidural. Like, guys, if you've never had an epidural, or if you have, then you understand when I say, like, you don't feel a thing when you're trying to push. Like, you think you're pushing, but sometimes you might not be pushing. So I started pushing. Of course, they got me like regularly trying to push, and I'm trying to push, and they was just like, it wasn't working. And so then they got my leg and they put it up. They put one leg was kind of down and one was kind of up, and they just like pushing. So I'm like, I'm pushing. And she was like, okay, like, we're either gonna have to use the suction to pull this baby out. She was like, are you okay with that? It might leave a little, you know, something on his head, but we probably gonna have to suction this baby out. And I'm not sure if it was, but I'm not sure if she wanted to do that because he wasn't coming down good enough, or I wasn't pushing good enough, or what, because I did get hurt while I was pregnant. So I had a lot of pelvic issues while I was pregnant. So I didn't understand why, but I knew it was important for her to get the baby out. And so she put the suction on, and when she did it, you heard this like pop sound. I was like, oh, it's like something that you just doing it, just thinking about it just made my ear hurt. It was like a pop sound, and she wasn't able to suction the baby out. So later, after I've had my son, of course, I asked my son's father, I'm like, hey, were you looking? He was like, yeah. I was like, was the baby coming down? He was like, yeah. He was like, you was pushing, but it's like when you push, he went back up. So after she did the suction, he wouldn't come down. And I remember everybody having like this frenzied look on their face, and I hear the doctor go, hey, get the OR ready. We got to get her there stat. So from my understanding, my heart rate dropped and my baby heart rate was dropping. And I did have a lot of issues with my heart throughout my pregnancy, which, like I said, I'm going to talk to you guys about in a separate video. But I remember them saying we got to get her to the OR stat, and she was telling me, like, you know, we're about to take you to the OR. We have to do a C-section. We have to get this baby out. And I'm just like, I'm frantic. Like, I'm scared because I'm like, C-section? What? And I'm going to tell you why I felt that way. But I understood that it was important for this baby to get out. So they're getting ready, they unlocking the bed, moving me. And so they're pushing me down the halls, because like the OR for the C-section is like literally like right around the corner from my room. And I'm like, y'all, I'm falling. And they was like, no, that's just the epidural, your legs feel like. I'm like, no, y'all, like my booty, because of course I had to scoot down and get ready to push. Like my booty was hanging off the bed. And I'm like, no, I'm falling. And so the lady pulled the cover back. She's like, oh my gosh, she is finna fall. And so they pushed me up, picked me up, and pushed me back on the bed, because of course I couldn't move my legs to push myself. But like they're literally pushing me down the hallway. And I'm about to fall. If I hadn't said nothing, I'm sure I would have fallen out of their bed. But they pushed me up in the bed, and then they get me into the OR. And of course they do the drawstring, not the drawstring, it's like, I forgot what it's called. I learned it when I was in radiology school, but it's like when they get the cover and it's under you and they roll it and they move you from one side, one bed or whatever you're on, to the next. And so they got me on the OR bed and everything. And so they got everything pinned up. And so I remember her saying, okay, we're about to start. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So I was really nervous. I didn't know what was going on. I've never experienced a C-section. It was just real scary. And I remember a lot of pushing and pulling and tugging, and I remember wanting to cry. I just felt sad. Let me get myself together. I just felt myself wanting to cry, and I just felt extremely sad. I'm just like, I couldn't breathe. Like, it felt like I was losing my breath. I remember going in and out. Like, 1 minute I remember being conscious, the next minute I felt like I was just out of it. And then I remember feeling, and I kept telling myself, you cannot pass out. That's why I kept telling myself, you cannot pass out, okay? You cannot. You got to hear this baby when he comes out. You got to stay woke. You don't want to die. Like, this is what I'm telling myself. Like, you don't want to die. Like, you have to stay woke. And so the whole time I'm just like, okay, I'm fighting it. Like, you know, I don't know what made my body or what made me feel like I was going out like that, but it makes sense because, like I said, I had a lot of heart troubles when I was pregnant. And if my heart rate was dropping, or anything. When it did used to drop in the past while I was pregnant, like I used to pass out, you know, and kind of go out of it. So I was like, I fought it. Like I'm just like, no, you can't pass out, you can't do this. And I remember having a hard time breathing, and so I just like pushed through, and I was just like, I'm just in and out of it. I'm just dragging. I'm just like, is he out yet? And it was like, yeah, he's been out. And I'm just like, he's been out? I never heard a baby cry at all. I didn't hear anything. So of course I'm laying there and I remember crying because I'm like, the baby isn't crying. Like, he's not crying. I don't hear anything. And then all of a sudden I hear a little whimper. It wasn't even a cry. It still wasn't a cry. It was like a little whimper. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe this. And so after they got him out and they did everything they were supposed to do down there. Of course, they called an x-ray because, of course, with it being an emergency C-section, a lot of times the OR rooms are not fully prepped for that. So they had to call in the x-ray team to come in and like take a picture of my abdomen to make sure that they didn't leave any instruments inside me, because sometimes they can happen. They can sew you up and things be left inside. So they were just following precautions and making sure nothing was left inside. So I remember them cleaning me up and getting everything straight, and I remember them putting me back on the bed. And so I guess I went to like this holding area, this waiting area, and I was just there. I remember falling asleep, and like different people was coming back there to see me. My mom came to see me. My mom didn't come to see me. My mom had been left out of the room when it was time for me to start pushing. Y'all, my mama hates to see me in pain. Like, when I say my mama hates to see me in pain, so it was just me, my son's dad, and my aunt in the room when it was time for me to start pushing. My mama had been left. She had already told my aunt, no, you stand in the room with her. I can't do it. So they told me, you know, after I came back too, they were just like, you know, when they came out the back, they were just all just sad and, you know, I guess feel some type of way because it had to go to a C-section. And I remember waking up. I think I remember seeing my aunt. I don't think my mom came back there because I'm 100% sure she couldn't stand to see me like in that type of situation. So she didn't come back there. I think my grandparents maybe came back there, and I remember my son's dad coming back there, and I remember, I don't know who I asked, but I remember asking, like, you know, is he okay? Like, is everything good? And they was like, yeah, we seen him. He's good. Everything's good. I'm like, okay. Thank you, Jesus. I can breathe now, because I didn't know. He didn't cry when he came out. He only whimpered one time when I was in there when they was sewing me up and all, when they had him in there after they took him out. He only whimpered. Like, he didn't make no noise. So I'm like, okay, good. So I remember like being in and out, and I remember after I had to stay in recovery for so long, and after I got out of recovery, they took me to my room. And I remember coming down the hallway, and like, you know, on both sides, my family, like everybody that came down to the hospital when I was giving birth, they were there. And I just remember seeing everybody, you know, some on this side, some on this side. And I was just like, I was overjoyed, because it's amazing when you have people. I gotta get myself together. I be about to cry, y'all. I'm so sensitive. Anyway, it's amazing when you have people that love you and care about you, that show up for you when you need them the most. And so I remember coming down the hallway, and I seen everybody. I'm just like, okay, good. At first I was a little nervous, because I'm just like, is my baby okay? Because, you know, there's so many folks just sitting there, everybody looking weird. And so I remember getting to the room, and I think I may have slept for a little while. I think I may have slept for a long while. And I remember asking my mom, I'm like, he okay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, is he cute? Like, I remember asking my mom, like, is he cute? I'm like, is he okay? Or is he ugly? You know? And she was like, I took a picture. You want to see? She would never tell me you ugly, baby. Because let me be honest with y'all. Sometimes some of these babies come out, they be looking all weird and stuff. All of them don't come out cute. And so she's like, I can show you a picture of them. And I'm just like, no, I don't want nobody to show me a picture of him. I want to see him for myself. When I see him for the first time, I want to be with my own eyes. And so, of course, 24 hours passed, and I hadn't seen him. I gave birth to him at 2:23. He was 8 pounds and 1 ounce. I did not get to see him for over 24 hours, and I think that was mostly because like I couldn't move. I was in the epidural had to wear out, so I couldn't really move. And so they was like, okay, well, by this time the epidural should have been, you know, worn off, and we're gonna let you, you know, I think they wheeled me down there. Did they wheel me down there? They either wheeled me or I had to walk. Either way, the first time I think I had to walk. Just because, you know, it's good for you to start walking after C-section. And I remember walking down there and I seen him and he was just like in this whole little room by himself. You know, he had the little IV on him. They told me that he had like this little bulb thing over him for like oxygen. Because I guess, you know, his oxygen levels were low. And too, when he was still inside, like he had pooped inside. So they was trying to monitor him for that he didn't even eat. Like, I don't think they didn't give him any formula or anything to eat for over 24 hours actually, because they wanted to make sure I think it's called meconium or something like that. They wanted to make sure none of that was in him, because of course him ingesting it would have made him extremely, extremely sick. So I finally get up and I get to go see him, and I'm excited. I'm thankful. I'm just thankful for life, because it could have went a whole bunch of different ways. Like my heart rate dropping, his heart rate dropping. Like the pregnancy was just already extremely rough, and I was just thankful for his life. I was thankful for my life. I was just thankful, because prior to me even giving birth to him, I had so many complications throughout my pregnancy that I had to have a discussion with my doctor. And I'm just like, listen, push come to shove, save my baby before you try to save me. Like, you know, like I could not picture myself going through those many months of having a child inside of me growing, and something happened to it and they try to save me before him. I told my daughter, I'm like, listen, whatever it comes to, save my baby before you save me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something happened to me, I already knew I had some of the most amazing people in my life that was going to take care of both of my kids. So I'm just like, save him. So when I go see him, he just like laying there, and I'm looking at him like, oh Lord. Like I got a ultrasound. I think I'm gonna put the picture right here. I got an ultrasound of him, and I was like, boy, this baby had them big old lips. He had that nose, the head, everything, and I was just like so happy to see him. He was just like so precious. And so he was down there for a while, and so I went back to my room, and of course I was in my room for a very, very long time without the baby, because like I said, they had to monitor him and make sure everything was okay with him. So yeah, like that what happened with my labor and delivery story. So let's get into the C-section part, guys. I think one of the most important things about C-sections is there needs to be a discussion that your doctor has with you prior to you giving birth. We all sometimes go into labor with an expectation of how it's going to be, how it's going to turn out, what's going to happen. And a lot of times, and sometimes it happens the way we want it to go, and a lot of times it does not. I did not go into my pregnancy or my delivery thinking that I was going to end up having a C-section. Of course, if that was what it came down to for me having to have one to make sure he got out safely, then of course, I think it's important to keep your mind open to it. My mind hadn't been open to it. I hadn't even thought about a C-section. And when that time came, I was almost frantic, because it's my first time ever having a surgery. And from my understanding, a C-section is a very extremely like serious surgery. And I just wish that I would have had more discussions with doctors or people that have had C-sections, so I would have known what to be prepared, what I should have been prepared for prior to having a C-section, and what I should have been looking forward to after having a C-section. So ladies, even if you have a child, you got a baby on the way, just know things don't always go as we think they're going to go. So what I can say for me, my C-section was not bad. The whole process of me being in there wasn't bad. It's just that I was already having a lot of complications with myself before even having a C-section. So the whole C-section part was not bad at all. Like, you really don't feel anything. You got the epidural. Of course, if you don't get an epidural, they got to hurry up and take you to C-section. Take you to the OR for a C-section. I think they have to put you to sleep. So I'm thankful I had already had my epidural, because if I hadn't had my epidural, I'm pretty sure they would have had to put me to sleep, and I really would have missed everything. So that process was fine. The pain after a C-section is something. Like, it is something. I've never been in that type of pain before. I remember after I came home from the hospital, I have like low couches in my home. And I remember, you know, being so sore and trying to, you know, because they tell you have to hold your stomach and stuff when you're walking and when you're standing up to kind of like keep your stomach in place. And I remember my baby was in his little bassinet, in his little crib thing. He was crying, and I couldn't move as fast as my mind thought I could move fast, but I really couldn't move as fast as I really could. So I'm like getting up here, you know, trying to rush to him, and I fall to the ground because like I'm hurting so bad. Like I'm still weak from this. Like I went in and had him on that Tuesday, and I didn't get to come home to that Friday. So you know, like this is my first time really moving around. And I fell to the ground, and I had to call my son's father to come in to come get the baby. Like, don't worry about me, you know, come get him. You know, I got to get up off this floor because I was sore. But anyways, the healing process after a C-section, you guys, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, you're going to need all hands on deck. Like, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. You're going to need all hands on deck. For me, I didn't have really no swelling throughout my pregnancy, but after I had my C-section, my feet were so swole when they walked. It looked like somebody had a rubber band popping. Like my feet were jiggling like a rubber band popping off something. And my feet were so swollen. My legs were so swollen. I have a C-section scar. Some people don't like that. I don't care about my C-section scar. I think it's sexy hell. It's just showing, you know, that I'm a woman. I've given birth. But I think when it comes to C-section, it's something that we need to, you know, keep in the back of our minds, because you just never know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. So, yeah, that's my best advice on the C-section. Talk to your doctors about it. Let them let you know what the chances are of you being able to having to have one. Because, like I said, you need to know these type of things. Like, you need to have this in the back of your mind. You need to know. You need to get a feel for it. So, if that time comes and if something comes up and you need to have one, then you already know. So, yeah, I'm going to also do a video on my postpartum after I had my son with the C-section, when I think about all of that. So, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and this was my labor and delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure y'all leave me a comment down in the comment section, giving me some pointers or letting me know how your C-section went. Also, make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next video.